everybody. Welcome to the wonderful world of Dayz. And I'll bring you along on my little adventure here. We're just kind of scoping out this server. It's essentially a beefed up version of vanilla Dayz. You're going to see added barracks, military loot, and a lot more vehicles. So it's going to generate a lot more activity. One of the areas we're going to stop by is actually Balota, which has tons and tons of activity, and we're going to go see what we can get ourselves into. Kind of snoop around and see what people are doing, and have some fun. Alright guys, so I'm just basically heard some shots here coming from Balota. So I'm just making my way over there, see what I can find. There's usually a lot of snipers that just sit up on the hills. And yeah, you know, I play as a bandit, but you know, mine's a little bit different in the sense where, you know, depending on how I feel that day, you know, I might be a nice bandit. I'm kind of a hybrid between the hero class and the bandit, where I'm not just shoot on sight, but at the same time, you know, let's face it, it's a very PvP driven game, and I love the aspect of it, and I love getting into shootings and killing other players. I'm definitely not gonna deny that. But it's a different dynamic. It's a little bit of a hybrid, if you will. Sometimes I'll give some opportunities, sometimes I won't, depending on the day. But yeah, so I'm just moving in closer and closer and seeing if I can spot where this sniper's coming from, or his bullets. I'm just gonna target that and keep moving towards it. So as I'm really scanning the airfield here with my DMR, I definitely see some activity. There's a lot going down, and you know, I've learned through the time with Dayz of actually having some patience. You know, you could shoot some rounds here, maybe hit somebody, maybe not, but you definitely want to have a little bit more patience, and that's going to get you a lot more kills, and that's going to keep you alive a lot longer. And let's just face it, being a little bit more stealthy and choosing your battles. And also, you know, like I said, being the hybrid bandit, if you will, you kind of want to see what's going on before you really get yourself involved in something. And that's the whole fun of it for me, is just getting somewhere without them even knowing I'm there. And of course, you can hear the DMR-like rounds just going off right now. So I'm moving real careful here. And I'm trying to pinpoint kind of what direction these rounds are coming from, so I know what direction to go and go towards the rounds, but at the same time be a little bit tactical as far as using cover and concealment and trying to position myself properly. So, you know, I love just being in a position where I can scan my surroundings, trying to be in a safer position than everybody else. Of course, if you can get to elevated ground, that's always great. But for example, a bunker like this, you're going to have a lot better odds of taking somebody out before they take you out, considering you're not really dealing with an elevated sniper. But, you know, low profile, not really bobbing my head up too much, and that's the whole key here. And essentially what I'm doing is just a triangulation, if you will. So I turn my head with my headphone to basically try to triangulate where that shot's coming from. So I'll kind of tilt my head to the left and right as this guy's shooting his DMR. He's basically saying, hey, here I am sitting. So remember that when you're up somewhere sniping, don't sit for too long. People sit there and they just think that, you know, the tree or the bush they're behind is their saving grace, and it's not. So all I'm doing here is just moving in closer and closer, and this guy's time is running out because he's not relocating, and his sound is pretty fixed as I'm pinpointing it. So I'm running in that general direction now, and also just constantly, you know, scanning my sides. You don't want anybody to abruptly intercept you while you're going to wherever you're going. You always want to keep your head on a swivel, as they say, and that in itself is going to keep you detecting the opponent quicker than them seeing you, because usually people are pretty focused in running a straight direction, and they're just traveling. They're in travel mode, is what I call it. You never want to be focused in a constant form of traveling mode, because then you're really distracted. You're not paying attention to movements and sounds and things like that. Yeah, you're moving a little bit slower this way, but like I said, survival is the key, and you got to survive. So I'm basically narrowing down this guy, and I pretty much pinpointed he's at this side of the hill. That DMR is very loud, and sure enough, as I start approaching this bush, I start to see the movement, the ghillie. They're a little bit harder to see, but the more you move, the more you're going to be a target. So if you're going to move, relocate completely. Don't just dance around in one place. So as you can see, I'm pretty much just putting my sights on this guy, and like I said, going back to the patience right there, I could have shot a couple rounds at him. I didn't. I'm going to wait for him to get nice and stationary, get my rounds where I need to, where it's going to be a critical hit, where he's going to be pretty messed up, and he can't really find himself getting out of this situation. It's pretty much too late. Critical hit, and he's going down, and then that's the end of him. And of course, as I'm approaching the body, as you can see, I panned left, I panned right. I just want to get my peripheral vision as wide as possible, check my rear, my six, all your different angles here, and that somebody isn't approaching or essentially hunting you as you were hunting this guy. So yeah, I'll get to the body, I'll get prone, and you're anxious, you want to see what he has, but at the same time, get away from that tunnel vision. So right here you can see I pan right, I disengage completely, I pan left, and then essentially do a little mini 360 here, and then get right back to what I need to do. Grab his stuff, he's got some goodies, feels good taking their stuff, let's face it, it's a mini victory every time, and it also sucks when you lose it, but yeah, that's Dayz, that's the fun of it. So I'm just going to be grabbing his stuff and moving along. So essentially I'm still looking over Balota, and I'm going to have some fun here a little bit before I move on north, maybe head to the northeast and mess with some of the bandits there. That's always fun. Hunting the hunters, that's always fun for me. Yeah, I can see some movement down here. I'm scanning, kind of taking my time. There's always activity at the fire hall. As I scan here, I could already see a lot of activity. I can see somebody in the fire hall. Well, once again, I'm not going to be too quick to open fire, depending, on the situation. Do I think I'm going to get a kill out of it, or am I going to wound this guy and draw all the attention in the world to me with this loud DMR? So I'm just going to kind of be patient here. I'm not going to shoot this guy, but I'm going to shoot somebody. And like I said, I'm not going to pretend to be this saint or, this ruthless killer, but it's fun to have that flexibility. That's what I like. As a hero, you find yourself getting killed way too often because you're trying to be diplomatic and fair. It doesn't really work all that often. So I'm scanning. I'm probably going to start shooting this guy, this bandit here, surrounded by zombies, and just kind of judging my aim here. And you could always use the practice. That's why the more you PvP, the better you're going to get. So this guy's wounded, he's bleeding. He's not in a good situation. If you're him, probably shouldn't still stay at that location. So this guy, odds are, has no idea what he's doing. So I'm going to try to kill him and teach him a lesson. In any case, as I'm shooting this guy, another guy shows up. I believe finishes him off. So one thing you want to be aware of is your surroundings. So obviously I've drawn a lot of attention, zombies, and I'm aware there's probably people moving in towards me. And of course, as I'm shooting this guy, I can hear somebody with a Winchester capping some rounds. So it's telling me somebody's close. I hear some from my 3 o'clock, and I hear some from my 9 o'clock. And of course I'm more concerned about the 9 o'clock. So what you want to do essentially is if you're in a position that you can, get rid of these zombies. I mean, even after you kill them, I didn't show in this footage, but hide the bodies. All you're doing is leaving a trail. The reason I kind of disengage from the zombies here is obviously there's a threat that's really close. I can hear him with his Winchester, and he's coming to kill me, and he wants this DMR. And I'm not gonna let him have it. So he can have the bullets in it, but not the gun. So in any case, you know, I'm looking around here. I know he's here. I heard his shots. He's already given his position up to me. So now him thinking he is the hunter will now be the hunted. If you guys can notice here, I can hear the engine, the idle engine of a UAZ, just kind of idling there. So somebody's obviously used it to get here, and I got to be aware of that. So as I'm moving, trying to stay inside of the trees or adjacent to the trees as much as possible for concealment and cover. And that's what I'm doing here. Here's our friend. We'll put some rounds in him, and that's going to be the end of him. And that's his ride right there. So I heard some DMR rounds coming from this area, kind of northeast of Balota. I'm going to see if I can pinpoint this guy, take him out before I head up north. Like I said, this is my fun here in Balota for a takeoff, so let me see if I can find this guy. So I know this guy's here. I mean, I'm just going to sit tight till, there he goes. He's right there. He's our little buddy. So I'm not going to jump in. I'm going to be a little bit patient here. Just kind of see what he's doing, and before I can take the shot. He's going down. He's going to be hostile. This guy's McGill. He's sniping. I'm not going to mess around. So sure enough, this guy shot him first, and that's fine. I'm glad I didn't shoot him first. I'm just going to move my way and take him out, and the threats are gone. Hey guys, so of course after I loot that body before I can get far, sure enough, there's another sniper. This guy's coming from the shore. I could hear the shots, and he gets pretty close. You can see the tree taking the rounds. And I'm just staying snug here. I don't want to expose myself too much and get shot in the face. But this guy's definitely going to be a problem because I head towards the airfield. I'm really exposed if I head up the hill.
I'm going to have a little bit of a better chance, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to flank this guy and shoot this fucker in the head, because he's put me in a bad situation here. So I'm going to go ahead and sit tight for a little bit, see if I can track any movement. That's really important. You don't want to get overly excited and start running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So sometimes you just want to stay where you're at if you have some cover. So I'm being real patient here. I just want to see if I can spot his movement, if he's getting overly anxious. If not, and I know he's somewhat stationary, I'm actually going to back up. I don't want to close in the distance right now with a sniper. It might be very, very dangerous. So I'm going to go ahead and back up, distance myself in basically in a straight line back. I don't want to go ahead and angle. So I'm just putting that gap between me and him. And I'm going to go ahead and start going around the hill and flank this guy. And sure, you know, he might know that I'm doing that, but sometimes they don't. A lot of players don't do that. They'll just run away, or like an idiot, they'll just run straight at the target. So I'm just going to go ahead and go up the hill here and scan where the shots were coming from in hopes of finding this guy. I'm also looking at my surroundings here. So as I'm scanning down here, I want to make sure that I'm somewhat in a secure place, not too exposed, and at the same time trying to find this guy moving about. I want to pan over and make sure nobody's creeping up on me. But this is where the area where the shots were coming from. So I'm going to close in the distance at an elevated angle in hopes that obviously I'm going to have the upper hand on this guy. So I'm just being super patient here. And I keep going back to that, and really the first person that moves abruptly is the first to die. You know, pivot around, listen to where the shots are coming from. They'll tell you a lot. And yeah, sometimes I play Dayz, I'm just, you know, goofing around, but right now I'm listening and I could hear the Winchester shots coming. So I got another problem. I got a sniper from the shore and I got somebody inland with the Winchester. So I got to make a decision here quick. So I'm just going to run over here, try to see if I can find this guy and neutralize him, because he's going to be a big problem from behind. You don't want to neglect something like this, because it's going to come. And sure enough, here he is. I'm just going to be careful here. So take this guy out right here, because I can't have this guy behind me snooping around. He's going to be a big problem. And of course, I'm missing all my shots here. Yeah, let's see. I'll take a few more shots at this guy. Sorry, little buddy. You're gonna be thorn in my ass. And there you go. Got the headshot. And it's funny because I'm looking at the kill marker on the bottom, and it's not saying a kill. So I gotta just scan my sides real quick. That's what I'm doing. Go back. I'm gonna plug this guy one more time. I gotta make sure he's dead. I don't want him getting up bandaging. Just part of being aware of your surroundings. I just heard another shot coming from my left shoulder, so I gotta make sure this guy's dead really quick and get back on point. Plug him one more time, and sure enough, he was alive, so he just died. I got another Winchester coming from my left shoulder, so there's a lot of activity, like I said. That's what I love about Balota. Now, my focus is this sniper. I want him. He took shots at me. He's got to go down. That's the bottom line. So I'm going to make my way closer. Got to be careful of this whinny that I'm hearing, and also take the sniper out. So it's going to be a challenge, and that's the fun part. That's what I love to do. And I've had a little bit of a history with this guy that I'm going to be killing pretty soon. I'm going to take him down. He's a sniper, and he more or less loses to me every time, and he knows it. So sometimes I'll talk a little smack on the side chat to him, and He deserves it, but it's all in good fun. And as I'm coming around this bend here, I want to definitely, I'm hoping that he fires so I can kind of better pinpoint his, okay, there we go, okay. So I'm just going to start moving towards that sound in hope of targeting this guy. And like I said, going back to what I said previously, don't want to stay stationary for too long. This guy's been sitting here for, God knows, 15 minutes now. So, you know, he can improve his gameplay that way. But he's just sitting there and saying, like I said, boom, 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 here I am. So I'm going to come and kill him. Just looking at the ship here, I'm not even sure if people could sit on that, or because I've heard sounds from there before. So I'm scanning, not sure. And sure enough, there's my little buddy. Go ahead, put a few rounds in him, and that's the end of him. Yeah, he's just sitting by the road this whole time. I wouldn't think he'd be there. But that problem is solved. I'm going to move down, grab his stuff. Got to be real careful here. A lot of fresh spawns. Yeah, and even though they do have Winchesters, they'll kill you. That's a lethal gun. So got to grab his stuff and finally get out of Balota. And grab a vehicle, go up to the northeast, and have some fun there. And you guys are welcome to join me. And guys, in this part right here, I purposely want to keep in, and like I said, maybe this could be, a fun little introduction to Dayz and a little bit of a tutorial on tactics and whatnot. I mean, this guy's dead. But notice, I'm sticking around. I'm not running out there like a little fucking girl, excited to get my fucking first kiss. Calm down. Take it easy. Scan your surroundings. Yeah, he's dead. I don't know if somebody else has been watching me this whole time, so I'll sit and I'll just listen. Even if it's not moving around the leaves and stuff around me to distract me, just staying nice and quiet. Once I feel comfortable, I'm going to move in, grab his shit, and that's the way it works. And of course, you see just another little buddy run across right there. That's what taking your time is going to do. I see him going prone there. This guy's going to be red. I got to take him out quick. I got to get out of this situation. There's no time for that nice guy at this point. It's just take him out, grab the stuff, and get out. Once again, he's dead. Doing the same thing over again, guys. I'm not moving, Become part of the nature. Stay quiet. Let them move around. Do what you got to do with your inventory, like I'm doing here. Getting prepared for whatever I need to once I get out there. And I will scan, of course, and pan around and listen before I run out there to that open, exposed street, which is very, very dangerous. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to look around and then move on and grab his stuff. Another thing, guys, as I get inside of this bush, you never want to underestimate any type of concealment. Obviously, somebody can shoot through this, but you'd be amazed how long you can sit here, especially if you have the right skin. I don't. I'm in contrast with this, but you'd be amazed how long you can sit here in a nice fat bush before anybody ever freaking knows you're sitting there. And I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to pan. And notice on the way down to this body, I've probably stopped 3 or 4 different times for 20 to 30 seconds at a time. And that's the whole point of not rushing into it, not exposing myself. And I'm just going to chill here, see if anybody's coming close or heard that crap or is going to do, a stop by themselves. And, and sure enough, oh God. Oh, this poor little guy. Okay, so, I mean, look, guys, this is a perfect example, okay? Completely oblivious. This guy is clueless. I mean, I'm just going to type real quick, because, this guy's too cute to kill. I can't. I just can't. He's learning, or he's probably just joined the server. Who knows? There's a lot of Bambis, as everybody calls them, and, look at him. Oh, God. I can't. I cannot live with myself if I kill this guy. So I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm just gonna scan, see what's going on, finally get to that body, get what I want from it, and head out. Alright guys, so just been browsing around Cherno here. seems pretty quiet, so I'm trying to move it as quick as I can. I found a tire. See if I can put it on this UAZ and get on out of here. I think I've worn my welcome here. Yeah, these guys are not nice, that's for sure. Alright. Go ahead and try to repair this vehicle and get the hell out of here. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. Alright guys, so it took a little bit of time, but got what we needed. And we definitely don't want to hang out the cities too long. A lot of activity. And that's part of Dayz, where you're in an area with major cities, you're gonna come across with a lot of people. And these people are just gonna want to kill you. That's pretty much it. So gotta grab your supplies, get what you need, and get the hell out of there. That's really what I can suggest when you're playing Dayz. Be secretive, grab your stuff, and get the hell out. Alright, so I'm gonna head up the coast here. Nice, beautiful scenery here. We go up to the northeast, see what we can get ourselves into there. Maybe get ourselves a helicopter, that'll be fun. You know, a lot of the fun here in Dayz, as I'm going up this coast, is just the sheer randomness of it. You essentially have so much room to explore, to mess around, to survive, come across threats or allies that you make on the spot. And that's what makes it so freaking cool. That's what's great about it. You never know what you're really going to run into, and that always keeps you a little bit curious, a little bit intrigued. You never know what the next town or the next area is going to bring you, and that's what makes it pretty badass. So we'll just see what's on this quiet little highway to the airfield is gonna yield. We'll see.